still dead. All right, so thank you very much. Obviously, we had a Ravens game on a Sunday. Tough loss for the Ravens this week. A lot of drama this week around the Bellagio and Owens Mills. So definitely not just the loss, but a lot happened here as well. So Ravens 24-19 loss to the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday. Ravens dropped their record. They had their fifth loss of the year to a very good Philadelphia Eagles football team. Eagles, I think, may be the best team in the entire NFL. Certainly, maybe the best team in the NFC. So I thought tough loss. I kind of came away from it, and I know some people are going to disagree, feeling differently about the Ravens, feeling differently about the Eagles than I did the Ravens as well. What's up, Pigtown? All is well, brother. All right. So, yes. So, anyway, so the Ravens and the Eagles, what happened this Sunday? So, Lamar Jackson, 23 of 36, 237, 2 TDs. Another good Lamar Jackson performance. Doesn't this most accurate day throwing the football, despite that. Really did air mail some things. Really didn't always look great throwing something. Not great for his standards. Overall, though, good day from Lamar. He was under enormous pressure. The offensive line, I've been saying it all year, has been a problem for the Ravens, and it has definitely was on last week's game. They didn't play well. That's just how it is. The line, I think a lot of people have kind of glossed over. The first couple of weeks, everybody was talking about how bad Falele was. Falele's been bad all season long. I don't think there's any question about it. Right side, left side, not as good either. Eagles have a great front as well. Derrick Henry didn't get the 20 carry mark. 19 for 82. Definitely the Ravens were, the Eagles were keyed in on Derrick Henry. Henry, I thought, was probably not his best game for his standards. I mean, you look at the totals, 19 of 82. Cooper DeJean, you almost never see a guy take a Henry off his feet like that. They were standing up on the Eagles sideline, and I don't blame him. Henry ran right into him. Cooper DeJean, the rookie safety for the Eagles, took him right off his feet. But they ran the ball, I thought. I think the game circumstances, I mean, had 19 carries as well. I don't lay it on Henry at all, the loss. Again, the line was terrible. I thought they were under a lot of pressure as well. I thought the rush lanes also weren't there as well. In this one, Zay Flowers, clearly now the number one target for Lamar Jackson. 3 receptions, 74 yards. I think Zay's got to do a little bit more in terms of I think got to get him more involved. I think you've definitely cleared him now as the number one receiver, not over Mark Andrews, who's still around, who's still a target for them. But definitely you got to get more Zay involved more often. The receiving core as a whole, not good. No question about it. I think, obviously, Deontay Johnson, all the drama. Apparently, he refused to go in the game when called after a Rashard Bateman injury, which happened. Rashard, no targets, ineffective in this one as well. Nelson Aguilar had a couple drops in this one. So definitely got to get more from Zay as well. Not on Zay, but I like to see them get more Zay involved in this one. Jalen Hurts, typical Jalen Hurts, 11 carries, 11 passes, 19 yards, 118, 1 TD. This was typical Jalen Hurts. This was typical Jalen Hurts stuff as well. Hurts, I think, they're doing with Hurts exactly what they're supposed to do, in my opinion. Not a great quarterback by any stretch, but he's a decent quarterback. He does certain things well. Doesn't pass outside the numbers well. He's fast, but he kind of runs inside, and they kind of do things. Say, look, run a lot in this direction so he can throw the ball in the middle of the field. That's kind of exactly what they do with Jalen Hurts. That's exactly what they should be doing with him. Saquon, probably now the leader in the fairway as far as for MVP. 23 carries, 107. Kind of matched with Derrick Henry. You had the MVP showdown there as well. I think as the game wore on, they were able to wear the Ravens down more because of time of possessions, etc. And you saw a little bit more Saquon. I honestly believe the numbers 23 for 107, he was fairly contained. They played a lot of attention to Saquon. They were really worried about him as well. He started to break through at the end, but it could have been far worse, as well as Saquon has been playing as well. Decent job, I think, at least containing Saquon in this one. A.J. Brown, I think, is their passing game, especially without Devontae Smith in there. I think the secondary has been much improved these last few weeks since they made the change away from Marcus Williams to Devontae, from Marcus Williams to Adarius Washington. So they definitely made a change in there as well the last few weeks. So definitely keep that in mind. I think the secondary is improving as well. Decent enough day. Not a lot of throws, though, frankly, from Hurst. They obviously, you play the Eagles, they're going to run the ball. I'm sorry, that's the wrong graphic there. So let's talk about Roquan since I missed him there. Roquan had 11 tackles. Defensively, I thought it was a decent enough performance by the Ravens defense. I thought it was. I thought like they basically tried to contain Saquon. They were trying to stop the run. I thought the Russians were good as well. Roquan with 11 tackles in this one, so he was decent enough in the football game. Roquan, I think, played fairly well, especially he was definitely, you could tell he was a factor in the game. I thought they did a good job on the receivers. They double team A.J. Brown. Defense, I thought, was solid overall. Now, back to our regularly scheduled. Nolan Smith, 1 sack in this game. I thought he was decent as well. I thought the rush to the Ravens was terrific. Against the Ravens was terrific. They had trouble stopping the run. They had trouble stopping that offensive line. Offensive line was really exposed. Look, young guys. Jalen Carter, I thought they made a mistake in this one, not doubling Jalen Carter defensive tackle. So what he does is he wreaks havoc, and it kind of frees up Nolan Smith. They didn't have Brandon Graham, obviously, the vet in this game. The linebackers, the Kobe Dean and Zach Braun are terrific. Secondary is coming along. We talked about Cooper DeJean. I think they were the better football team. The Ravens actually don't see that often on a football field. They don't face teams a lot that were, quote unquote, I think, the better football team. They actually got beat by a better football team, I think, in this one. So Ravens actually lose this game 24-19. Did have some drama in this one. Got to talk about Tucker, like in this one. Tucker missed 3 kicks in this one. He missed an extra point, and he missed 2 field goals. You lose by 5 points, and that's the margin of victory. I ran a poll this week. I was kind of wondering what I thought the fans would say about Justin Tucker. It was mostly, I took a little bit to my surprise, keep Justin Tucker, because I don't think they should, but let me make the argument for it first. Let me go to that side. The argument to keep Justin Tucker, in my opinion, is what else is there, right? You want to bring Mason Crosby in, Greg Zuerlein. They're going to look at some kickers, maybe put one on the practice squad, maybe, because I'm pretty sure this too. It could be years now since they've even looked at kickers, right? But definitely Tucker is a problem. Tucker was shanking kicks like we've never seen it before. So definitely Tucker was shanking kicks, definitely was not playing well in this one. I think I'm surprised that the fan sentiment and the coaches are actually going to stick with him, because he's been not good. He's missed 10 kicks. That's the most in the league. I mean, this is the GOAT, Justin Tucker, before this season. So I think a lot of other coaches would have cut him too. I think like if Bill Belichick's the coach, he'd have been cut. I think Jimmy Johnson had been coaching, he'd have been cut. Had been Bill Parcells had been coaching, he'd have been cut. I absolutely believe that if that had been the case, he'd have been cut. I think the other alternative is, though, what else do you want to do, right? Do you want to go down the stretch with a kicker you're not familiar with, try and win a Super Bowl, try and win playoff games when you have a Justin Tucker? The thought is, I'm sure, we got to see if we can get it right. because when he's on, obviously he's the greatest ever, but not been right at all. Other drama this week: Deontay Johnson suspended by the Ravens for 1 game. Conduct detrimental to the team. Refused, apparently, according to their statement, refused to go into the game. When asked after the Bateman injury, he's been upset about his catches, his playing time, etc. Ravens actually sent him suspension as well. I am surprised they didn't cut him. I actually think part of it is the comp pick. They're hoping to get something from him so they can get that comp pick as well going down in front. If they go ahead and cut him, then they won't get it for sure. I think that's the biggest motivation, or part of the motivation to keeping him. But Harbaugh, he's got the wrong coach for that. Diva receiver on a John Harbaugh team isn't going to work. He doesn't. You never hear Zay Flowers complain. You never hear a lot of receivers complain because the second it happens, he's going ahead and he's looking for somebody else. So 24-19. That's it. No game this week. So we got the weekend off here. If you are a Ravens fan, they're going to play the Giants, who are currently on the clock. I think they have the worst record in the league, currently 2-10. So they're going to go into the Meadowlands the next time we see the Ravens on the